Let me tell you about the wildest Tuesday of my life, the kind of story you hear whispered about, but never expect to actually see play out, let alone live stream across America. Picture this. I'm barely 2 weeks into my marketing internship at Sterling Industries, the 47-story glass monster that towers over Madison Avenue. My name's Grace Winters, Kansas-born, Northwestern grad, $87,000 in debt, and rocking the only decent pair of pumps I own, bought secondhand the night before my interview. My mom's working double at the nursing home, hoping this internship might be my golden ticket. Let me tell you, corporate America didn't welcome me with open arms. It tried to chew me up and spit me out, and for a while, it looked like they'd succeed. See, from day one, Tyler Nash, the CEO's right hand, and a walking trust fund with a Yale ring and an ego the size of the Chrysler Building decided I was fair game for every hazing ritual in the book. Charity case from Kansas, he'd call out loud enough for half the floor to hear, dropping binders for me to fetch, deleting my work, forwarding my emails, especially the ones where I told my mom I was scared I couldn't hack it. HR, Diana Chun, was all corporate sympathy. Tyler's just under a lot of stress. Grace, you need to fit in. Yeah, that happened. But nothing compared to Marcus Sterling himself. The man was a legend on Wall Street, silver hair, custom suits, a handshake that crushed your fingers, and a smile that never quite reached his eyes. To most, he was just a demanding boss. To the unlucky few, he was a predator who never worried about consequences. I caught his attention when I corrected a mistake in a major pitch, saved the company millions. He circled me like I was dishing out compliments that always landed just a little too close, scheduling late-night meetings, standing way too close in elevators, dropping comments about my skirts and my hair. When I kept my distance, the retaliation started. My key card failing, my desk moved to a supply closet, my name erased from project credits, my ideas stolen. Still, I try to tough it out. Kansas women don't scare easy, or so I thought. But when I found my grandma's picture, the only thing left from before the bankruptcy, smashed on the floor of my new office, something inside me snapped. I remembered her stories about facing down the worst of the depression, about never letting bullies decide your worth. I wasn't going to be a statistic, not this time. So that night, instead of crying, I researched. New York's single-party consent laws? Check. NDAs, class action suits, whistleblower protections. Double check. By dawn, I'd sewn a mic into my collar and set up an app to live stream anything that happened straight to multiple servers. I started documenting everything: emails, texts, witness logs. I even found a network of former Sterling women with stories that made mine look tame, ready to back me up. I learned Marcus was always worst after his Tuesday board breakfasts. That's when I made my move, a proposal subtly highlighting Tyler's failures, my grandma's pendant in plain sight, because Marcus hated sentimental weakness. I showed up at 9:15, practiced my scared face, and waited for the shark to bite. My office. Now, that text came at 9:23. I started the stream, hands shaking, 12,000 viewers already on, most of them calling 911 before I even left my desk. Walking to that office felt like walking to the electric chair, I kid you not. The glass walls, the blinds drawn, the security cameras off. He disabled them himself, but he didn't know about my mic. Marcus started his routine. Accusations, threats, you owe us gratitude, the whole 9 yards. He reached for my pendant, snapped it off, called it sentimental garbage, then grabbed my wrist hard. He even told me, straight up, I noticed your little recording device. I own judges. Your word against mine. I let him think he'd once slumped my shoulders, played defeated. But then I showed him my phone. 14,000 viewers, Marcus. And climbing. Oh, and your wife's divorce lawyer's watching, too. That's when his face drained of color. He lunged, shoved me against the glass, tried to choke Metazol stream live. Help! Marcus Sterling is assaulting me. I gasped into the mic, my voice shaky but clear as sirens wailed in the background. By now, the viewer count was shooting past 20,000, comments flying in faster than I could read. I could see it in his eyes, the realization he'd just lost everything. Then, the cavalry arrived. NYPD, FBI guns drawn, no nonsense. Marcus Sterling, "You're under arrest." He screamed about being set up, demanded his lawyer, but I pointed out his cocaine stash in the drawer. The officers found it right where I said, and the pendant he'd just stolen from me. Diana Chun, who'd always looked the other way, stepped up too. Turned out she'd been collecting evidence for years, waiting for someone brave enough to go public. What followed was chaos of the best kind. Marcus in cuffs walked through the lobby past every employee he'd ever terrorized, every board member who'd enabled him. The look on his face? Priceless. Diana was right there, files in hand, a quiet promise that this wasn't just about might, was about everyone who'd suffered under that regime. I sat in Marcus's chair and started typing the email to end all emails. Subject line, "The truth about Sterling Industries." I told the whole story, every detail, every enabler, every timestamp, everything cross-referenced with security footage, backed up by an IT guy who was sick of the cover-ups. The email went viral before I even finished typing. And you know what? For the first time, the sunlight streaming through those windows didn't feel cold, it felt like hope. The office crowd outside the glass looked at me, not with pity or fear, but with respect. Some were crying, some applauding, some just standing there stunned. Diana handed me a cup of tea and a flash drive, every buried complaint, every secret settlement, all of it ready for the prosecutors. News spread like wildfire. By noon, the stock had tanked. Marcus's wife was in the lobby with her divorce team, and that California lawyer Patricia Hawkins flew in with a small army. The class action suit ballooned to cover nearly 50 people, but the ripples didn't stop there. The FBI raided other firms, old boys clubs fell apart, and the hashtag Sterling Truth was trending worldwide. The best moment? Walking out of that building under federal escort. Every employee, janitors, security, accountants, even the receptionist who once sneered at my off-brand bag applauding. The maintenance guys were there too, and the guard who'd ignored my earlier distress saluted with tears in his eyes. That, right there, was the moment I knew we'd done something that would outlive any single career. I collapsed in my Uncle Robert's arms, DOJ, and the secret weapon nobody saw coming. "You did it, kiddo," he whispered. "You actually did it." We drove straight to the federal building for debriefs that lasted all night, and even then, I didn't realize the dominoes I tipped. The ripple effect took out judges, politicians, rival CEOs, some even turned themselves in. A month later, I sat in a Senate hearing room as the star witness. Marcus got 37 years live on TV. Tyler Nash pled out, but still got 5. Diana became chief compliance officer, and even the janitor who found the hidden cameras got a seat on the board. I used my settlement to start a non-profit. Letters from survivors line my office now, and my grandma's photo sits on my desk, Kansas wheat behind her, face into the wind, unbreakable. And here's the kicker: every day, messages come in from women and men across the country. "I spoke up today because of you. I reported my boss. You showed us what's possible." My grandma always said, "Bullies only have the power you give them." Turns out, she was right. Turns out, the smallest voice, when you finally use it, can topple giants. Now, let me ask you, where do you draw the line between standing up and staying silent? When is enough enough? I'd love to hear where you land, because this isn't just my story, it's all of ours. So go ahead, tell me, what would you do if you were in my shoes?